One of the key concepts in geometry as a math subject, I'm not going to teach you simply what to think, but how to think logically and to analyze the why behind mathematical principles. This is where we're focused on today, and this is where most of you have the least amount of practice. All right? We are sitting on an airplane. Remember, you're sitting next to some stranger, okay, and you make, small talk if they didn't put earpods in their ears. And so I have found over the years, when I'm doing that meet someone you've never met kind of discussion, and they ask me my profession, and usually I just say teacher. And then that's some generic conversation. And if they drill down and ask me what kind of teacher, I usually say math. And then I usually get like, kind of thing. Now, if I say geometry teacher specifically, I get the same reaction almost as pastors do. And I've sat next to pastors in airplanes. Pastors in airplanes, they get one of two reactions usually. Either it's very exuberant. Oh, you're a pastor? Oh, praise God. And then like, wow, you can talk about all things spiritual and life, and they have great, usually pastors really listen very well, and they're just wonderful to sit next to. Or you get this reaction. Oh, you're a pastor. And then every negative experience you've ever had with church, or now you're self-conscious, or whatever. I get almost the exact same reaction when I introduce to an adult, okay, like we're similar age. If I actually say the word geometry teacher, I usually get, oh, I love that class. It was so different than algebra. I get very exuberant, or I get very quiet and rather cold. Oh, it's very weird. Okay. Now let me tell you, when I ask adults, where does that feeling come from? It's what we're starting today. Not to give you a heads up. It's something called proofs. And the reason why is because proofs can be incredibly confusing, and they also look very different than what you're used to seeing. But I've got good news for you. When a future teacher introduces themselves as an adult and they say geometry teacher, you're not going to have that reaction. Oh, because this is going to be a positive experience that you are going to grow into. Hold up for fingers. Say it with me. Given implied, freebies talk through.
Given implied, freebies talk
Again,
through.
given implied, freebies talk through.
Given implied, freebies talk through.
Mr. Q, let's try that again. And
given implied, freebies talk through.
These are the 4 steps to working on a proof. Let's circle those letters. Given, implied, freebies, talk through. It represents the acronym GIFT. Given, implied, freebies, talk through. I'm going to walk you through twice. After we do this twice, it'll take us about 10 minutes. If you're like, Miss Way, I've got this. I'm good. You go off in your corner, you do your work, you follow my instructions, life is happy. If you're like, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm half asleep, I'm trying to get to the bathroom, I can't find the light switch, it's dark, and I just stepped on a stray Lego piece. I'm in pain, and I'm disoriented. Help Miss Way. You're going to come up front, and I am going to do the next 3 pages with you. Okay? So when we get to that point of cutting you loose, just, random people. Yeah, absolutely. A point. Like you got to sign off. Alrighty, so step 1, you're going to mark the given, and you're going to mark the prove. Okay, prove information on the diagram. That's step 1. Notice the word mark. 2, you mark what is implied. What's implied by the given. What else is true? Yes. That's honestly it. Yes, by all means. Yes. 3, locate the freebies. Notice that's in quotes. That's not technical. Freebies. Things that are true, even if they're not in the given. Things that are true, even if they're not in the given. Joshua, yes?
Is there ever going to be a point where you just give us the given?
Absolutely.
And what we want, and then we're just
Yes.
on everything?
That's not today, though. But will you eventually get what's called a blank proof? I'm like, you're given this. Prove this.
Yes.
Empty space. Yes.
Yes.
You're not there yet. You're not there yet. Okay, we got to get you to walk before I start teaching some sort of dance moves. Okay, bye now. Thank you. This box this word talk through the logic of the problem. Talk. Always talk before you write. Because you can talk faster than you can write. And by talking, you organize your thoughts, then you capture your thoughts, then you write them down. But you talk first. Say talk first.
Talk first.
Okay, we're going to go twice through this. All right, and then I'll cut you loose. And at that point, when I say, free, you're free. You need extra help, you come up front. I promise I'll do more with you. Okay, put this in the corner. Given, implied, freebies, talk through. Stay right with me. It'll be about 8 minutes. Given, implied, freebies, talk to. Ready? Let's work the given. I'd like you to put your finger right there. Read that quietly to yourself, but with your lips moving. Go. Okay, let's mark it on the diagram. B is the midpoint of AC, so I'm going to just physically trace AC, circle B, midpoint. I'm going to do these two brackets to represent two. Yes, ma'am?
I forgot how it was. Bisects are 1 hash marks, and then midpoints are 2 hash marks?
No. Bisected. Okay, midpoint just means a point. A bisect is anything that goes through a midpoint. And the first midpoint or bisector, whatever the first in the storyline is, that's 1 hash mark. The second one is 2.
Okay.
In fact, we're coming up to that in about 45 seconds.
Okay.
Got it? And C is a midpoint. So I circle that. Midpoint. And then I'm going to go down and under so that I don't confuse them. Cross stuff out after you account for it, or put a little check in the margin, either or. Cross out the G. You are done with given. Okay, implied and freebies usually go together. There's not really a freebie here per se. I'll show you one in about a minute. But implied, because of the midpoint points, this is true. Tell a neighbor, why did I do the 1 and then the 2? Go, talk real quick.
Because the 1 happens first and then the 2 happens after.
Okay, now, given, we just marked our implied, we marked our freebies. Now, we are trying to prove, when I say prove, it just means explain. Don't be freaked out by that word improve. You guys explain yourselves all the time. Why are you late for curfew? Here's 3 good reasons why I'm late for curfew. Okay, I'm going to do this project. Here's 3 good reasons why I'm going to do this project this way. You guys do this all the time. Okay, we're trying to explain, in this scenario, why is this segment therefore equal to that segment? I usually do my proofs in red. It's like my target. So let me rephrase that, and then I want 10 seconds of silence, and then you're going to buddy up with the neighbor, and you trios. You might want to take advantage of the trios going this way. Then you're going to talk it through. Here's the question. After 10 seconds silence. If you know you have midpoints, and you know you have those sets of congruent segments, how on earth do you know the reds are equal? Now this is what I want to see. I want you to do this show and tell style, which means when you talk, you're either pointing to the screen demonstrating or your fingers on your paper demonstrating. But either way, your mouth and your finger talk at the same time. Go, talk.
Well, they're both midpoints. Oh wait, well, that's the thing. I was thinking. Well, I was thinking that, but oh yeah, well, it has to be because I'm trying. Okay, look, because A, B, and C, B is midpoint, and then C is a midpoint. That means that what? I got really confused with the actual. Oh,
Okay.
So anyway.
Now comes the more challenging step. Capture your conversation. And I'm going to have 1 minute or a minute and a half of quiet. I'd like you to write down in 3, to 4 complete sentences. You can use abbreviations if you choose to, but I actually want sentences. Okay? How to get from the given to the proved. You're connecting that with at least minimally 3 sentences. Ready? Start writing. Bless you. Okay, everyone check your neighbor, make sure they actually wrote something down and they're just not waiting to copy. Everyone wrote something down, just check.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Now, you do not have to be exactly worded as me, but let me give you kind of some bare bones. You should have restated the given. B is the midpoint AC, C is the midpoint BD. That should be somewhere. And why do you know that's true? It's given. Or you either start with the given or you end with the given. You should say those two pieces, my first hatch marks, A, B, and B, C are equal, B, C, and C, D are equal. Why? Because of the midpoints. Now, some of you only said this part. Okay? You must always give both the what is equal and also the why. Finally, since all 3 of these connect to BC, I can say that A, B, and CD are equal because of, here's the proper terminology, transitive property, in which we transferred equality, 1 to 2, 2 to 3. Okay, I want you to turn around and tell a neighbor, I am proud I did this correct. Second, I must also remember if you forgot something. Ready? Go. I am proud.
I'm correct. I need to remember to put the words transitive property because I didn't explain why. I just showed all of them. Thank you.
Everybody say, I am proud I got this right. I need to remember what? All righty. Given implied, freebies talk through. Given implied, freebies, say it with me. Given implied, freebies talk through. So go down the margin here. Given implied, freebies talk through. Okay, oh, we're just on the next page. Turn it over. Flip. Make sure you're looking. It says example 2. Has a little teacher icon on it because it's my example. You with me? Acknowledge bobblehead. I highly recommend you have your quad pen handy because I'm going to be color coding stuff. Okay. Now, if color coding stuff confuses you, don't worry about it. Okay. Step number 1. CD and EF are equal. So I'm going to do this. I put a little check when I got check. These two are equal. And it's a second hatched Ariana because it's my second set.
Okay.
Got it? Okay. Then I switch to red for my target. And I like to squiggle it. Put a giant question mark in red. I'm trying to connect those. I'm going to pose the question, and then I want 10 seconds of silence. Here's the question. If you know that the greens and the blue segments are equal, logically, how do you know the bigger reds are equal? I want you to think about it in your brain. Now, as you explain, I want it show and tell style. When you're talking, you're either pointing to the screen or, or you're pointing to your paper, and everyone must talk. So even if you're repeating yourselves, I want everyone to talk. At least 3 sentences. Go, talk.
So they must be saying like because C to E and both of the pairs are equal to each other and they both make up the full line and you're trying to find this full line
Alrighty, how many of you in your jibber jabber, you said something like this? Well, they add up to or they make up the bigger ones. You said something like add up to or they make up. Alrighty, this is how we do it today. I was gonna squeeze that in. I know. That's all Spencer's fault right there, folks. Alrighty, guys, take a look up here. We know that CD and EF are equal. Take a close look. Why do we know that? Okay, yeah, that's hard. Okay. Oh, I forgot to talk about what a freebie would look like. Okay, I am so sorry. We did the talk through without me showing you what freebies look like. Okay, we marked the given. Implied and freebies. Freebie would look like this. Things that are true, even if it's not in the given. Everyone go like this, say e.g. And let's write it. Is equal to EF plus FG, right? EF plus FG. That's a completely true statement, right? According to the diagram, we just did this last class, right? Okay? Bubblehead, acknowledge. Yes, that's right, Miss Beth. Got it. That's right. But it's not in the given. That's what I mean by a freebie. Let's do this one as well. That would be CF equals CD plus DF. That's what I mean by a freebie. Something that's true, that's not in the given. You already did the talk through. We kind of went out of order there. Yes, ma'am.
What if you said EG equals CF?
EG equals CF. Okay, see the problem, that's not a freebie, that's what you're trying to prove.
Oh.
So that's like saying because, it's true because. Only parents get away with because. Parents can tell you to do something, you ask them why, and they go, because I said so. And you know what? Parents get to do that. Bible says so. Okay? Bible says so. Honor your mother and father. But I won't obviously do that to you, nor do you get to do because to me either. You have to explain yourself. So let's show what that looks like. Ready? So we know that DF and FG are equal because it's also given. Okay, let's take a close look up here. Do you see this, guys? CF equals CD plus DF? Where exactly do you see it?
Right there.
It's right there. It's our freebie, but it has a name.
Segment addition.
That's it's segment addition. Now, giant empty space. That's where a lot of you kind of choke. Let me show you how not to choke. It takes like a little bit of what I call Sherlocking. Watch very carefully. Come up here. That means to figure stuff out. I like to make up verbs that were nouns. Okay, do you see EG?
Yeah.
It equals EF and FG? Huh. Well, guess what that is?
Segment addition.
That's also segment addition. Now, let's box our targets. Our targets are CF, I'm doing this red, and EG. Always box your targets. I usually do it in red. That's way. Now go like this with your hands. On top, one on top of the other. Right now, your targets are on two different lines, right? Okay. Your ambition is to get them on the same line connected. All right? So we need to find a connecting piece that we can connect these guys. Let's see what we can do. Take a very close look at CD. Do you see CD? Come up here. Do you see CD?
Yeah.
I could swap out CD and put what in its place?
Yeah.
Boom. Chakalaka. Yeah. Alrighty, let's do this. Do you see DF?
Yeah.
Come up here. DF. I could swap it out for what? That's right. FG. You're like, well, why did I do that? Well, one, because I can, simply because it's possible. Now bring down the CF. We took something out, we put something in, that's called substitution. And we cooked with or smashed together lines 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to shrink this in here, real close. Ready? Take a very close look here. Take a very close look there. Tell a neighbor, what do you see? That is your connecting piece. Now we can say these guys are equal. CF equals EG, and the reason is because not because, only parents get to do that. Substitution, lines 4 and 5. Congratulations, you just finished your second proof. Okay. Now, if you're ready, no naked diagrams. You see that little icon with the shower? I know it's a little crass, but that means if you see a diagram, make sure you dress it up. In the video, you know what I mean by that. If you're ready to be by yourself, just kind of roll away and do your own thing. If you're like, do not leave me alone this way, you're going to roll up front, you're going to horseshoe right here. You guys push back unless you're joining my horseshoe. Okay? You do not want to be left alone. There's at least 3 of you. I'm getting pretty strong. I'm in the dark. I've stepped into Lego. I'm in pain. I'm in the dark. But you're going to come closer and have to shout. You're going to come real close. Because I want to lower my voice and stop projecting.
Okay.
Yeah. Just for future reference, guys, it's easier to go sideways or backwards in these chairs than it is forward. All right. Okay, kiddos, I am only talking to the people up front. If you need help in my audience, you have to physically come up and see me. Otherwise, you need to roll up front. Friends, are you talking? Are you getting help? I need you to push back then so we have a little bit more space here so you can get by. Are you getting help?
No, I don't think so.
Yes, ma'am.
I just need
Jeremy, you joining the party here? Okay, and Dylan, can you get a little space here? I'll give you a ride. You're joining us, right? It looked like you were. Okay, good deal. Okay, friends, very next problem. I'll do 2 more with you. 2 more. I promise the light will go on. I promise, promise, promise. Almost here. We're going to do 2 more. Okay? Ready? Let's come up here. I'm doing 5. Okay. I'm going to be color coding stuff. I'm going to be using green, blue, and red. You can use whatever you want, dear. I'm using green, blue, and red. But you can use whatever you want. Okay. Yes. And remember the claw thing? The claw. It helps. If you claw. Got it? No. The claw looks like this. The claw looks that way. Like that? Okay. Claw. Like Wolverine. Alrighty, so we have P to R is equal to S to U. QR and ST. Those are equal. Okay, red squiggles. That's your question mark. So the question, given, we just marked the given. Now we're going to do implied and freebies, and then we're going to talk through. Implied and freebies, an implied freebie would be like this. SU equals ST plus what? SU is the same as ST plus TU. Okay, good. That's one. That's a freebie. It's true, but not in the given. Nicholas, what's a freebie? That's right. There'll be a lot of other stuff down the road. Okay, so we can do this. We can do PR equals PQ plus QR. You okay with that? Okay, that's implied in freebies. Okay, here's your talk through, and then I'm going to bolt for about 20 seconds, and you guys jabber with each other. I'm going to go check in on everybody, and I'll be right back. Here it is. Big green's equal. Little blue's equal. Why are the reds equal? Okay. Talk it through. Good. And remember, when you talk, I want to see either fingers in the air or fingers on the paper, one or the other. Okay? But you always talk with your hands moving. Go.
Here's why I think the reds are equal. It's because in order to get
Are you
to
looking for
R,
your?
which is the big
Okay.
one, you have to
Where's your
add
targets?
P to Q
Box your
and
targets.
Q to R.
Box your target.
And because Q to R are the same, and like S to T are the same, that means the other,
Now,
the
if
red
we
ones
just
must be
did
the
that,
same.
we're in the money, right? Okay. You can't subtract unless it's exactly the same thing.
So I have to put that T down there.
Watch. You're going to swap out QR. What are you going to put in place?
What do you think I'm gonna put?
Yes, ma'am. That way you have ST on both sides. That's step 6. Then you can
Have me walk you
This way.
Okay, I'm working on it. Bye.
I gotta leave.
Yes, ma'am.
You spelled segment.
I probably did.
Instead of make it like egg.
Yes, I did.
It's okay, the effort was made.
I appreciate it. You're gonna have fun with that. There's at least one more crazy typo for almost every hand that I
Sure,
work.
you're getting my
I am not an editor, unfortunately. Yes.
mermaid.
Hi.
It's mermaid.
Yes, ma'am.
See?
Yes, ma'am.
That's what I mean.
Because you're swapping out PR and you're replacing it.
So,
I guess. That's correct. That's correct. You guys good?
Trey, where are you going?
Not quite fair. Okay, do you, here's your target. That's your target.
sorry, Anna. You know,
What are you
Maybe
I'm confused or something.
Yes, the one else like left you join me.
Yeah,
Join me, Max. Join me. Okay, guys. Now, in some point in your talk, did anybody say take away something? Or add something?
Oh, yeah.
At some point, did you add something? Okay, let's see what we're doing. Okay, I'm going to shrink this back right here. We know that this guy's already right there. What's that called? Segment addition. Great. So we've got one segment addition. Nicholas, what's our other segment addition we could write down? Yep. Let's do that. SU equals ST plus TU. Now, using your red pen, box your targets. There's one target, PQ. There's another target, TU. We have to get those on the same line somehow. So we're looking for connector pieces. Okay, do you see right, CPQ? PQ? TU? Are they on the same line right now? No. So your first ambition, if my goal is to make them equal, I at least got to get them on the same line. Okay? Okay, good. Now, Bella, where's that come from? It's given. Yes, it's our first given. So given. Okay, now look very carefully, friends. Very carefully. Everyone physically touch that PR. Put your pencil or finger right there. In what line do you also see PR? What line? There it is. There's PR. I could swap out PR and put what in its place, Spencer? I can swap out PR. What can I put in its place? Boom. Do you see what I did there? I swapped out PR and I put that in its place. Taryn, do you see that, ma'am?
yeah.
Good. Let's do the other one. Ready? Put your finger on SU. That SU. Where else do you see SU? What line? Second. Great. I can swap out SU and put what in its place? And that's exactly what I did. And there's a reason why I did that. Box your targets again. Box your targets. Are my targets now on the same line?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, that's called substitution.
Okay, I was like, they ain't gotta
Okay. Bella, what lines did we smash together to get line 4?
1 and 2.
We used 1 and 2, but then we also used 3 as to like put stuff into. Okay. So it's 1, 2, and 3.
Why do
Okay.
we have to write the steps that we used to find? Couldn't we just write
I-
substitution?
I want you to be able to identify which steps did you pull from. Okay? Because that's given me, you always want more detail, not less. All right? That's like citing. Do you write an essay and include a quote without citing where it's from?
Some people do.
Some people. You wouldn't dare, would you? No, of course not. So that's like citing your quotation. All righty, here we go. Ready? Taryn, where do we get this information from? It's given. Now, this would be so easy if I could just scratch these out, right? If I could just scratch those out, do you see how the reds would be equal? Okay, but the problem is I cannot subtract unless it's exactly the same. I cannot subtract unless it's exactly the same. Go like this with your hands. I cannot what?
Subtract.
Unless what? Exactly the same. Is this exactly the same right now? No, not right now. But we could do this. Watch. I could take out the QR and put what in its place? Beautiful. Let's do that. So I have PQ plus ST equals ST plus TU. Box your targets. You see it now? Bella sees it. Okay, Bella, what's exactly the same on both sides now, ma'am?
ST.
Lovely. Okay, now what we did here, that was substitution again. And this time we worked with lines 4 and 5. There's our author citation. Max, what can I take away from both sides now? Bingo. ST. You cannot subtract unless it's exactly the same. There's your target, friends. PQ equals TU, subtraction property, and we subtracted from line 6. Okay. I want to get a quick gauge. Think about how you felt about this when you first walked through the door. 1 being totally lost, no clue what's going on. 5 being, I've got this, you can test me today. When you walked through the door, how'd you feel? Be honest. Walking through the door. 2s, 1s. Okay? After we've done this a couple more times, where are you at now? 3-ish, 4-ish. Okay, we're not quite. In other words, let's do one more. I think, yeah, between. She's trying to figure out how do I do 2.5 or 3.5 or whatever it is. Okay, guys, here we go. Let's do the next one. Ready? Okay, green, blue, red. Really proud of you guys. Normally I don't hold you hostage to teaching for 45 minutes, but you guys are putting in the effort. Really appreciate that. Oh, that's supposed to be red. Okay, so those are equal. And then this is equal to that. So my green's red. My blues, my greens and my blues are equal, and I want to get my reds equal. Okay? I'm going to just do a quick lap, give you guys about 30 seconds. So again, your question is this. If the medium greens are equal and the blues are equal, how on earth does that logically mean the reds are equal? Okay? Again, fingers either on the screen pointing or fingers on the paper pointing. Talking point, go.
Because addition, basically, you can add the same thing I said for that first problem. So, do I need to say
Yes.
okay?
Give me a second.
Right here,
I'm trying to get people
to paper to demonstrate my point. You have ST, for example. Those two add together to create
You understand?
So for example,
STU. Yes. Therefore, and look,
add together and make
which means QR and ST have to
We're saying QT is equal to ST and TU. Is that directly a true statement or indirect?
We're trying to.
You are so correct. In other words, in step 4, I'm kind of like messing with it. My analogy is I'm going to get that. You have to get it. I will get it. So a directly true statement.
Hire people to do their
equals what?
Can you hire someone to do your
Plus
classes?
RT. That's what you're going to do. I'm cooking.
No, it's not.
So before I cook, I need to get it out of the
All I know is there's one number.
I don't want to get it. Yes, ma'am. Erase that. I'll explain why. Erase it. You're probably stuck in the same. No, you're not stuck in the same line.
When I have like,
How about you and Ada? You guys are really close. Okay, this is a quick question. We're trying to no, that's not obviously because a sum equals to a sum. Segment addition would be like this. FH equals FG plus G. Yes, ma'am? Okay. All right. You guys, write down the first two are your givens. And you start talking about what do you think goes in step 3, but don't fill out step 3. Just talk about it. I'll be here in 30 seconds. Okay, ladies, any givers? Because I know this is confusing. You could easily say S2 equals ST. There's a reason why that is, but it's not. Ready? All right, now.
I just was
Let's look at 4. Did you physically trace QT? And then it's saying is equal to, follow with me, ST and TU. Is that directly a true statement or indirectly?
I'm so
indirect. So in step 4, I'm like messing with QT. I'm curing the so before you can cook,
just here's what I'm thinking. I know. Do you want
QR plus.
You don't have your ears pierced yet?
No. I got him pierced when I was like
Okay.
7 months.
Yeah, that's what
All
I
right,
had.
guys. So here we go.
We are so close. So you guys figured out that at some point, did you say little guys add up to big guys? Little guys. Okay, we're going. So we have RT and TU. That's our blues. We know that's true because it is given. And we're going to do our other given right here. QR equals ST because it is given.
Do you always start?
Sometimes no, but this one's easier. Now, I need to lower your anxiety. There's more than one way to do all of these. Okay? So when you get something that's completely blank, if yours is logically accurate but slightly different from me, that's okay. But because I'm giving you some of it, you have to work and you have to follow my tracking. Now, this is where it makes this tricky. Because I have 2 segment additions I could do, and you're trying to figure out which one do I do. Here's how you know. Watch very closely. I need you to see this little finger thing? Okay, I need you to follow my little finger thing up here. Okay, I want you to physically trace Q to T with your finger on the paper. Physically trace QT. Now, physically trace ST. Physically trace TU. So QT is equal to ST and TU. Is that a directly true statement or indirectly true statement?
indirectly?
Okay, do you see why it's indirectly, Taryn? Okay, watch. Okay, watch. I am saying step 4, I'm going like this. I'm saying this big segment is equal to the sum of these 2 guys together. Do you see they're not physically touching? So what I'm doing, I'm going to use the analogy like this. I am cooking in step 4. I am messing with stuff. Got it? Okay, you can't cook with stuff until you get it out of the fridge. So when I'm asking which segment do I need to get QT out of the fridge. So this is what I do. Watch. I'm going to say QT equals to, I'm getting lost in all my markings, equals to QR plus RT. Do you see what the difference is there, Taryn? That's a directly true statement, right? And that's segment addition. Okay? Now, look what happened. Okay, ready? Yes, ma'am.
So why wouldn't you do like the opposite
SU?
QT and like, yeah, and then just kind of switch it up?
Okay, because here was the clue. In step 4, I'm messing with QT. I'm mixing stuff up.
Okay.
My analogy is I'm cooking with it.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, I can't cook with stuff unless I get it out of the fridge.
Oh,
Does that
okay.
kind of, you're not convinced?
No.
Okay, so you're asking me why couldn't I have done this one? SU equals ST plus TU. That's your question?
Yes.
Okay, I'm glad you asked that question because in step 4, do I even mention ST or SU?
Mention ST.
I do, but the ST and TU is because I'm taking stuff out and putting stuff in. I'm cooking with it. I can't cook with it until I at least get it out of the fridge.
Okay.
Okay, so I start with this one right here. All right. This one is segment addition. Now this one, look carefully. We can take out QR and put in what? Good. And this one, I could take out RT and put in what? TU. That's called substitution. And I use lines 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now let's find our targets. Our targets are this. Our targets are QT and SU, right? Have I even mentioned SU yet? Is SU even out of the fridge? No. Okay, Spencer, give me a true statement about SU that's directly out of the fridge, which means as simple as possible.
SU equals ST plus TU.
Okay, that's okay. Now, guys, what he's saying is this: this whole segment is this segment plus this segment. Do you see it? Okay, that's a directly true statement. Molly, what do we call that? We do call it segment addition. Fabulous. Okay, I'm going to zoom in here. Alrighty, guys. Do you see STTU? Do you see STTU? Those are exactly the same now, aren't they? Those are exactly the same. I can say these are the same. QT equals SU. Substitution, lines 5 and 6. Have we moved up to 3.5 yet? Are we getting close to 4 maybe? Okay, you won't get to 5 until you seriously try something on your own and fall flat on your face. Okay? I will happily tell you in just a second. The rest of you, shoo, go try something on your own. Okay, Taryn, you ready, ma'am? Okay, I need you to physically underline this. Just underline it. Got it. Now come up here, underline it. Do you see those are exactly the same thing? Okay, if those are exactly the same thing, that means this is now exactly the same thing. It's like this. Watch. Here's my 2 pieces. That is my connector piece. Make sense? Yeah.